Hello, good evening, and lovely to be with you back again. Just get my screens ready here, and hopefully, there we go. Okay, so running around a bit, and I've had the gas heater on, and I'm roasting my cheeks a little bit at the moment, but at least you're seeing my face. So I have got the long-awaited, the fancy fold that I promised you last week, but I was just messing about with my measurements. So I want to get down onto the table and show you what we're going to make this evening. Flick that one out of the way and get you across, and you have my hands. There we go. I'm going to bring that in a little bit, just a tiny bit closer. There we go. So the fancy fold I'm going to make today, I think this is a Swift or a Swallow fold card that I heard about. Hi Susie, first one in this evening. So this card here, when I said last week, no, not last week, when were we? Wednesday, that I wanted to make this card, I was trying to make it metric, and I was trying to make it into a full-size card. Then when I'd made it, I found that the full size would not go into our envelope. So that's what kind of threw me off, and I wanted to play with it. So this is not wide enough to go in there. It won't go either way. We do have the facility to make our own envelopes, but for this purpose of this, I wanted to be standard that everybody could make. Okay, so I wasn't sure read the time. We've not changed yet, Rhonda. So we change at the end of the month. I will look up and I will remember to put a notice up to say when we've changed, so that you all know we've moved the hour on. Spring forward and fall back, so we'll be going forwards. So this is the card. Now, I saw this made, I think they're referred to as a Swallow or Swift card. It is a fancy fold that will open out like so, but it has the centre panel. So it's easier to see it from the back side, or from the edge basically. And this is the fancy fold. Now, I've been trying to simplify and make it the easiest possible for you. And there's a little bit of a prayer tonight just to say, please stay with me. I hope the measurements are right. Okay. My layers on here, I've done just 2 or 3 millimeters difference. I've written them on there as being half a centimetre different. We'll see how we go, what I decide to do. I do like this margin with just a tiny bit. So these papers are not the ones I'm using. I am using the new one that I used on Wednesday. So where is that card gone? It was sitting here just now. Oh, let me go. So whoever didn't see me on Wednesday, I think this was the one I did Wednesday, and I'm going to be using this suite. It's one of the online exclusives that I mentioned, and it's the Irresistible Blooms. Okay, lovely papers. I'm going to change my colours a little bit because I used these colours last live. Okay, so this is just to show you where we're aiming at and how these can work and fold inwards here, or you could fold them over the outside like so. I've put my greeting over the edge there, so I won't do that. So that's my fold for tonight. Okay, yeah, we are a little bit different, but we'll get there. We'll catch you up. Where should we start? I'm going to start by showing you my sample, I think, on my inky peg here. So I am going to cut a piece of card that is 10.5 centimetres square. I'm going to need to bring you in again, aren't I? In we slide. There we go. So I'm going to need to do 10.5 centimetres square, okay, on there. And then I've got the measurements here for the layers, but I might tweak those a little bit and take those down slightly. So then this is the basis of our card. So I was just proving here that the measurements here, and hold that how it's going to finish up, that will fit in a standard size card when they meet in the middle. Here is my envelope. It will fit in there. So I wanted to prove that to start with. And these are going to be my layers. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 pieces exactly the same, and that's going to be my mechanism. They're going to meet on the back with a little bit of overhang, and that's where we're aiming. Okay, so I'm going to take that out of the way, and I'll walk you through the measurements. Hi Sam, look forward to seeing you. Is it this Friday? I can't remember, looking in my diary. I think it's next Friday. So I'm going to take some card. I was going to use that colour, but the first thing we're going to do is to choose our designer series paper. So these were the images that I was going to use from here, similar to what I used the other day. And the little gems here. So we're going to choose some more papers from the same suite. Just I'm trying to keep some kind of like a theme going for the week. Move those out of the way. Okay, and we'll just go through and pop a couple of colours just to see what I'm going to use. There's a reason I might actually use a yellowy one here. I have shown you all of these before, so I don't want to bore you doing the same thing again. There is a paper in here. These ones. Hi Pam. Hi Dell. Lovely to see you. I've got some card colours in there. They're the ones that go with this suite. I kind of wanted to keep it slightly different, but I have a reason why I want to use maybe these ones. Okay. So I'm going to take those out. I only need a couple of sheets, but I'll leave them on top. So I'm going to use those colours, and you'll see why in a sec. Those out of the way. So these are some of the colours that go with it, but like I said, hiding over there, this is the pretty peacock that's coming back, and of course we have white as well. Okay, so they are all the colours, lovely spring colours. And I must remember, I said I was going to show you a box, and I didn't. So I need you all to shout box, okay, before we finish. So on Wednesday, I forgot. So I'm going to just put those to one side. They're going to be for my layers shortly. And I'm going to use a black background. So just bear with me. I tidied that one away. So I'm going to go black, and then that might remind me to share the box with you. So I'm going to take this, and I've got my measurements here that I've worked to, and I think that they are fine. So I'm going to take this whole sheet, and I'm going to save you some work. We're going to cut this to 20 centimetres along the top here. Okay, so on my ruler here, it's 20 centimetres, and this is the width of A4. If I bring you back out again, you can see it a bit bigger. There we go. So the width of A4, so it's long ways in my cutter, and 20 centimetres. Okay, and we'll cut that. Leave it exactly where it is, discard the other piece, and then we are going to work towards. I'm going to use the score now, so if you think you might cut instead, just put something over the top of it, like a jam jar, so you don't use it. No, that won't work because I've got to lift it. I'll take that away. You can take these blades out if you want. So I'm going to move this along slightly. So we're going to start off on this edge. We're going to score at 5.5 centimetres. Okay. We are scoring both panels at the same time. Okay, so I'm cutting this, making this easy for you. So 5.5 centimetres, and then we're going to go on to 9.5 centimetres, and then we're going to go to 15.5, which is just nearly on the last bit of that white. So you're going to have 15.5 there. Okay, so that's our 3 score lines. We're now going to turn this, quarter turn, and we're going to cut it at 10.5, which will be the height of our card. Okay, so we have 2 identical pieces, and if I just slide those out as they were, okay, and then remove my trimmer, I'm going to grab a pencil. Those of you who know me well know that I'm used to, so my score lines are going downwards, used to putting crosses on things when I need to identify what's going to be covered up. Okay, so on the right hand panel, this is the smallest panel, I've put a big cross on there, so you know that that is going to be where we're going to put adhesive. Okay, so that's the first step. Now we need another piece of card. Can you remember I said I needed the front panel? Sure that this is wide enough. No, it's not. So I need the other piece of black here, and I'm going to cut a 10.5 centimetre panel. So if I go 10.5, and then turn it and do 10.5 again. Okay, so this is our front panel. So that would make 2 there, if you want to bulk card make. Now on here, while we're in the trimmer, okay, I want to mark the centre of one side. So 10.5, we're going to have 5.25. So if we put this on 5.25, so that's 2.5 mils in there. We want to bring it down slightly because we're going to mark pencil in the track and just mark the top there. Okay, I think that's working. I can't see, just a sec. In the track, and then in the track there. Okay, I can see those little marks on there. Okay, that's all we need really. You don't really need to draw a line. I just did that for the purposes of showing you this panel here. So this is our front panel, which we've just cut in black. Okay, and if we turn them over on the back, we're going to have adhesive there and adhesive there. Okay, so that now looks like that same panel. Okay, so these are the pieces we're going to work with. I'm going to turn this one away. Okay, this one's going to go away from me. So this is a mountain, and a valley. Okay, and then we're going to have a mountain, and a valley. Okay, so that gives you the shape. So I'm going to take my bone folder and now crease those. I like to make those folds first of all, so I kind of know where we're heading. And then this one was going the other way. Okay, so this is going to be our panel that's going to go on the adhesive. Okay, that is going to double back. In fact, that's going to go that way round, I believe. So we'll have our panel here for the purposes of illustration. The cross is going to go on the cross in the middle, and then this is one of our panels that's going to come like that. So actually, we're doing an M shape. So if I do it that way, our little M shape is going to go like that. Okay, so we do the same on that one. So again, bone folder, and bone folder. So it's going to all concertina up. If you think kind of like an elongated M or W, okay, and we're going to end up with the crosses. Oh, I want that one to be inside. Sorry, ladies. I told you this was a labour of love. So I've just turned that inside out. So that's that way. We're going to have them reversed. So the panels are going to be in the middle. That does help. So I didn't forgot to say that. Does that make sense? So you kind of got an M there and an M there. These are your middle panels, the shortest one in the middle and the biggest one on the outside. Okay, and these two, when you turn these two in with your crosses on, you're going to have these on the front of your panel, and they're going to stick in the middle like so. Okay, and then these pieces will be flapping outside like that. I hope that's kind of the clearest way I can explain it. So where I've put my pencil marks on here, on the centre, and I've put my adhesive on the crosses on there, I'm going to put Tombow on these two, because when I do funny things like this, fancy folds, I really like to just know where it's all going to sit. Then everything else is really a piece of cake. So I'm going to face that one down. The fold goes into the middle. That's the only thing to remember. So I do apologise, it's on black on black. So that's going to go on my pencil dots there. Okay, and that's going to go that way like so. We just have a little bit of wiggle room just to make sure that they line up evenly. Okay, on there. They will overhang very slightly. They are meant to. So that's one half done and stuck down. It does make sense, doesn't it? Thanks, Shaz. So this is the other one, and everything is in reverse. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same. Sometimes it's easy with the second one because you've got your cross there, you kind of like halfway there, like so. There we go, and turn that over and pop that against that one. And this is where I need you to pray that it's all going to come right in the end. So once you've done a basic mechanism, it really is quite straightforward. You've got a little bit overhanging there, a little bit overhanging there. The front needs to be bigger than the folds. So these are going to come in and fold like so, and this is going to come in and fold like so. Okay, and then we grab our envelope again, and we just prove to ourselves that yes, it is going to fit in there nicely. Okay, so there is my card. It's going to pop up, it's springy, it's lovely. So I'm now going to bone fold those over the back there again, just to make sure they're all nice and flat. Okay, and when your card can stand on a mantelpiece like so, it's really, really nice. So my next layers I'm going to cut for you, I am going to tweak these slightly. I wrote on these really scruffily on here, but I want to take this down a little bit. So I'm going to cut two of the front and the first and second panel. Okay, so I want to have this at, just think these are going to be two bigger margins. So if I take that down from 5.5 centimeters along there, I'm going to take that down to 5.125, and then this will be 4.25. Then this will be 5, sorry, and this will be 3.25, and this will be that'll still be 3, won't it? No, 4. Oh, 5.5 comes down to 5.25 and comes down to 5. That's right. So this is 4 coming down to 3.75. It's just 1/4 centimetre off, and then that comes down to 3.5. Okay, I will do some neater diagrams than this, but I just wanted those margins. Can you see, when I do cards on full-size cards, I often use the 1/2 centimetre rule. So these layers would be probably 1/2 centimetre on there. If you can kind of see that, they're quite wide. Okay, whereas this one, I've made them quite narrow. Okay, so we're going to cut some layers now, but we're going to cut the white first, which I have beside me here. Oh, she said, she's buried. There we go. I have a piece here I'm going to use up. So I'm going to cut, all my layers are going to be at 10 centimetres, because the middle layers, they're all the same depth, sorry. So this is 10.5, so I'm going to do 10.25. Okay, so 10.25 down there. And then, when I turn it this way, I'm going to have 2 for these outer panels and 2 for the next ones in. These ones will be plain. Okay, you can put some white layers on there if you like. Just pop your greeting on. So I'm going to have, I've got my 10.25 on here as well. 10.25, and that comes down to 10 on there. And 10.25 and 10 on there. So I'm being your guinea pig for you. So I'm going to just test these out. 5.25. Okay. And then this one's going to be 5, and then the second layer will be 5, so this one's going to be 3.75. I will do charts for these, but it won't be tonight, sadly. So that one's going to be just checking those sizes, just a tiny little border all the way around there, and then this one on the middle panel, just on there, and they should fit nicely. I'm going to actually stick those 2 down now. Okay. I'll do the cutting first, actually. Do 2 more of those for the other end, and then we'll do them all in one go. So I've got 5.25 on the white, and then 3.75 on the white. This is all in centimetres, ladies. Okay. I'm going to take that one out and keep those 2. Stick all those ones down and make sure they're all fine. Okay. So grab this, grab my tweezers. I like to hold that first, don't I? I think my trimmer blades might need a little bit of a change. My nail block here, this is an old nail block, and I just, if there's any little tiny whispery bits, I just run that nail block along the edges. So I can get some new blades out for next time. Okay, so there's my outside panel. So we're working from the outwards inwards, so that I can see on here, black on black doesn't really help you. I wish I'd got a grey matte board here. Just take that away from the dust. It's just along those edges to take off some little wispy bits. Okay, and then this one's going to come on the inside. We love our fancy folds, and it's nice just to do something a little bit different. I will give credit, if I can find the lady who I saw in America do something similar to this, I will put the details in the post as well. So now I'm turning this out the other way. I'm going to do exactly the same, mirrored on this side. So just take some of those away. I don't want the dust from the nail block on the black card. So turn that over, some Tombow around there, whiz it round quickly. There we go. That's just going to come in there. Tiny little border. I can see that there's a tiny little black there. There we go. And then this one, take those whispers off. And just stick this one down as well. And then we'll cut up the white panel for the centre of our card, this front panel. Okay. There we go. There's those 2 pieces. Hi Judy, nice to see you. So we're there now, we've got the sides, so these are going to come in like so and fold up. Okay, so we're getting there. So it starts to make sense as we build up from the bottom. I'm going to take a piece of this and just cut that to 10 1/4 square. I lost where I put my white piece. There, 10 1/4. I'll mark that up. 10.25, and then this will be 10. So 10.25, that's 1/4 centimetre. So halfway between your full and your half. And the same here. Can't use my little red dots today, can I? There we go. So we only need one panel for the front. Shaz Smudge is saying hello. Susan Campfield, that's the one. Absolutely the one. Well done. Yes, I have seen her recently, so that must be her. Thanks for that. Lovely design. She called it a swallow or a swift fold because she thought it looked like a swift. But she works in inches, and because we're metric, I do like to work in centimetres. So I was trying to translate, but I wanted to change the size of it to the full size. I like the other one that I've done. It's a nice bigger card, and it's great for using with the envelope punch board. Sadly, we just no longer have that one with us. It was one with the retired, the envelope punch board. It was great for doing all sorts of different things. We loved it, but it's gone for the time being. My papers, I might just see if I got on the back of this one. Oh, that would be good. There we go. So we're going to bring this one back, and we're going to cut the next layers. So for the outside, I'm going to have the floral one on the outside here. So these ones are going to be, again, it's 10.25, so this is going to be 10. Okay, and cut that one. And just hold it up and just make sure that you're happy with the size. Tiny little border. Yes, I'm happy. And then this way, I'm going to have just the two wider panels here, which will be 5 centimetres exactly. So I can take that to 10 and cut 2 in half, or actually I might do, I wanted a little change in tone, but I think actually I might keep the yellows on this layer. So take one out of the way, and then half this at 5. She was sound asleep when I came online, and those two, now she's woken up and wants to come in. So those two are on the outside layers, and now we'll cut the inner one. Now for these, I would like to use the reverse because I want to give it some contrast. So these inside ones are going to be 3.5. So that one's going to be 3.5 on there. Okay. Now, providing you don't have a one-way design, excuse me, slide that off there, I can use this piece here. It's just a check. It won't matter which part of that I use. I can use this one even though the design was going that way and that way. Hope that makes sense. Seagull, well done. I should have screenshot her name when I actually did it, and I forgot to, but it was one I was going to go back and have another look for her. It's nice to find different things to do. Okay. There we go. So those are 2 inner layers. We'll stick those 2 down next. Okay, all of those 4. So we've got 2 different patterns going on there. You can put these up top and bottom as you like, where your colours are going to match in. It's entirely up to you if there's any preference. So I'm going to put these ones on next. I'm not sure. I think those ones are okay with the paper. Little frazzy on there. Just take the whispers off. Okay, this is going to be that way up. Put the glue on here. So are you loving this collection, these papers and the ones that I did the other night? I love them. I know we have a lot of florals, but florals are a big seller. And I hadn't got anything like these ones. So I was pleased to have these in my collection. They are online exclusive, so they are just while stocks last. So we don't know what quantities are in the warehouse or how popular they're going to be. So I'm just using my wiggle room there on my Tombow just to slide that slightly. Okay, so we've got some contrast going on. Then we do the same on this side. So they will sell out. Once they sell out, that will be it. A bit like the kits, our kits collection. When they go, then they just suddenly stop. They've run out and that's it. So while stocks last. Okay, I have the next new kit on its way, but sadly we're having a little bit of problem with some of the orders coming through with the UPS deliveries. So we are just waiting patiently for those. So I will showcase that as soon as it arrives. So I'm just making sure I've got the right side up when I glue these. Okay, just a little bit around the edge and then through the middle. There we go, small little border around there. There we go. Excellent. So this is going to be my layers and it's going to come in like so. Okay. That way. You can do that way on the outside, or you can tuck them on the inside. You've got an option there to go that way in, and then you have those layers there like so. So now we've got to do a piece on the front. Now I like this layer because it's neutral. I'm going to put some floral images on here. So I'm just wondering which way to do this. We'll look at the other papers in the suite and see what else is going to go with it. Sometimes you get some of the reverse papers on here, actually, like that one, for instance. That might be nice to bring through the pinks and pink tones in there. So if I find another sheet of that one, I think that's the one I used the other day, that one. I could use that one. Or actually that one might be nice. That's got the lines on the back, but that comes through sweet. That's the one I'm going to use. Okay, doke. So again, we're taking this down just a few millimeters on here. So I'm going to take this panel down to some point 10 exactly on this one now. 10. You can just over if you like. And 10. And there we go. Take those out of the way. And then this is going to come on here like so. Make sure there's enough of a white border. You can always shave a little bit off with a manual trim, a guillotine cutter. Don't ever try and cut a little slither off with the rotary cutter, the blade cutter, because it would just wisp it up and it will block your track. It doesn't give a clean cut, so I like that with a guillotine cut on that one. Our little baby guillotine. I really hope that comes out and back into our circulation. So popular. So the sale list for your date for your diaries, the sale list in the both the current annual catalogue and the mini catalogue will be released at the end of the month. There will be a sale in April. Okay, so that's my layers and that's how we sit at the moment. There we go. So it's going to sit like so. Okay, once it's been folded flat a few times, it will have less of a bounce. But I really love that. Okay, so then what we're going to do here next is I will cut some of the flowers that I used last time. So you've seen part of this before. Love these flowers in here. I love them. And then some of the leaves. I think we had these ones. I have some sheets started here, so I'm just looking for the bits. Somewhere. That's the one. We'll use those ones today. Or actually, I'll use some of these because these fit into the little trimmer, the colours here, the yellows. Okay, so all the dies in here. This is the bundle I'm using. Irresistible Blooms. You're not late, Helen, don't worry. It's always here on playback, don't worry. So you'll see the folds again. Just get this out of the screen so you can actually see where the card, this is the finished card where it's going to end up. And it's a panel card and it can sit like so. It's kind of like a double W on that side. It's very nice and it is easy once if you do it step by step and you work up your layers. So I'm going to move that out of the way while I just cut some of these. So the blooms in here are absolutely gorgeous. We can stamp those, we can watercolour them in. We've got speckles on here. We can add some texture. So I'm going to do a few of those. And I need to work out what sentiment I'm going to put on here. And then inside here we have our dies. So these are the dies that cut some of those images. So I'm going to do some more die cutting today. I'm just going to grab the little mini cutter. A little baby. And these ones here, the flowers, there are two different dies. There's one for the large and one for the small. She's not going to let up, is she? Can you hear her? Poor little pitiful little girl. Bless her. Now she's clear the table so Madam can have the chair next to me. Demanding, isn't she? There we go. So these do have a lovely natural shape to them, and you can easily find which way they sit on the dies. They look like they're embossed, but they're not. Another lovely set to add to your list. Absolutely, Linda. There we go. So that one's going to fit on there like so. Would you believe how many seconds? No, she hasn't had a treat. She had them earlier on this afternoon. Would you believe she's gone to the door all ready to leave? So she's stuffed now because I've shut the door. So I'm going to place this one on here and then start to build some images up here. So I use Scotch tape on here. I used to use washi tape, but washi tape isn't so robust as this. I just put some pieces, once I've finished with them, I put them on here, pop that image away, peel this off. And there we go. So I'll leave that one aside. And then some of the little one, that's another little one, and I've got a bigger one on here as well. Okay, so we're going to do the bigger one on the bottom here. There is no waste with this. You can find all the edges, as I explained last time. Just going to swivel this round until I get a nice match. So I think it's going in there. You can see the edges really nice and clearly. And then I'm going to trim around those edges. Okay, none of this wastes. We do keep all of these pieces. Just going up carefully up there because there is even a die for this little trio down here. Okay, so we'll do all of those. There isn't one for the two, so I'm coming quite closely there. And he's going to go down on the plate and die cut like so. Make sure he's nicely settled. There we go. Little piece of tape. The Scotch tape you can use over and over again as well. Come out. Slide him along. There we go. Get rid of those onto the floor. They can be swept up later. And I'll do a couple of the leaves as well. So that's the pinks to go within our colour scheme. And then here, the dies. The magnets I've got on here are really strong. I really have to peel them off. So there's some nice yellows in there, some greeny yellows there. I'm picking which ones I want to do by the colours of my card. So I'm going to come in and take that one. Like I say, nothing will waste. So just be careful how you fussy cut these, just roughly, round the edges. Okay, these ones will come back to back. Like so. Hello. If everybody on here can hear her through the door, you can imagine how loud she must be for you now when she's sat on the chair beside me. And now the Tiggs wants to come in as well. He's scratching because he thinks he's missing out. Pets, so funny. Hey. There's one. So there's a nice little yellow flowers. And then I think I'm going to have one on here. And just change the dies over. And these two in here will make a nice little change in there. you go. Sometimes you wish animals could open doors on their own. Okay, so that's that one. Push him out of the way. Once the tape has been on my bottom plate a few times, it picks up some of the cardstock, so that will go in the bin now. There we go, got a nice little couple of those, and all of these pieces can be used again, so we don't throw those away. We keep the dies nice and flat and put them away in there straight away on my magnet so I don't lose anything. Okay. And then on here, I want to do some of these speckles. In front of me, I have some of the colours. Oh, where have I got? I think it's that one. No, that's mango. I've been super duper efficient, haven't I, and put those away. This is... Where's my stack of papers? I've moved these for you, Smudge, and now I can't find what I want. So I'm just going to remind you, on the back of the packs of the paper here, you have all the colours listed on here. So this is Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, and Pretty Peacock. They're the colours that are coming back. We have Petal Pink and we have Soft Sea Foam. Now, I haven't got any of those ones on here. I'm just going to go and run and get some of the nice pale pink on here. So that was the two pinks we had in here, Flirty Flamingo and Petal Pink. So if you just grab that from the display. Pink. There we go. It's faded quite badly on here. It doesn't look like Petal Pink, but it is. You just have to trust me on that one. Some of the plastics don't always match up to the right colours that we like. You got one there? No. I will decant one of these ones I used the other day. There we go. And pick up my dots, my splodgers, my dottage. I've heard dottage used several times. I'm going to take this piece of scrap here and I'm just going to test this on here to see how that comes out on the white card. Yes, nice and subtle, just what I want. So if you've got something like this, and if I haven't stamped it beforehand, I can just literally just plonk this over the background. It's got some watermark on here, but I wanted to bring this in with some just speckles on here. So I can just change that just slightly more all over. I can bring this round here, just protecting my table. The borders on here are so delicate, so tiny, you're not going to see any of those. So we can use this off the edge here. There we go. A little bit in there. And then you'll be able to see I've just got some dottage on there. Can you see that? Bring it up to the camera for you. They're beautiful colours, yes. Those dots, I love dottage. They're just that little bit of delicate on there. And I'm going to make this into a thank you card. I have a block here. In fact, yes, I'm going to stamp this onto a piece of the cardstock that I had here earlier. You saw me with some cardstock. There we go. That won't work, that's too bright. So I think that one, and matting it onto this layer. So I'm going to grab my black. It's in front of me. I'm going to stamp this on here first. This is just my Memento black ink pad. And I'm just going to stamp this in the corner. I think I told you the other day, if it hasn't been inked for a little while, I do need some more re-inker on my Memento. And if you want a nice jet black image, I would go to the Stamparatus so that it can stamp several times. Okay, we'll have to go with that for now. Stamparatus isn't out on the table, but you get the gist. So I'm going to put that aside. And I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting just round that one, or shall I do chomp? I think I'll do a chomp. Just cut that piece off there. There we go. Okay. I'm waiting to do some embossing with this one as well. Some heat embossing would look lovely with this. You'll have a little bit of a glimpse at the end because I'm going to show you something else I've done with it. So then this one could have a little matte layer around there. I'm going to wait a minute and see how this looks with my flowers. So I'll bring those back down. We have our bone folder to shape those petals as I did the other day. Okay, just curling that like a curl ribbon. I'll bring it back in a little bit closer. Now we're decorating, you can see that. So just curling that over with my thumb on the edge of the petals, and if you want to kick some of those over, I'll just curl them back the other way. Okay, so just little tweaks, just little petals. Think of a flower and how they don't naturally just go downwards or just go upwards, and the same with this one. So tonight was about the fancy fold. The techniques now are kind of similar to what I did the other day. So then turn it over, and a couple of little, just the edges coming back over. Okie doke. Have them on this corner this time, and the leaves the same, they can be curled over and then curled back just on those tips, on one or two of them, and the yellow is just going to pick that back through the yellow of the leaves. Okay, think about spring blooms, and they're paler colours, aren't they? They just come a lot out nicely like so. I can do something with those and then come back to what I'm going to do with this piece. Okay, I think I am going to fussy cut it actually. So let's just get the glasses and do a quick bit of fussy cutting. Okay, I'm just going to bring it round and just take the edges around this one. Again, when I go into heat embossing, I'm going to show you the project, another project in a sec. The heat embossing, you can do the Versamark and then the black ink, and you can do the ink again with the Versamark. You can stamp that several times. This is, I don't really like this one, but I really need to spend some time and just re-ink these pads. I've got a couple of, or 3 of these I think, and I've got obviously got the oldest one here. Okay, but from a distance, I mean, you can see the image where it is. But Versamark and the black embossing powder you'll see on the other project I'm going to show you in just a second. Okay, look. I came off air on Wednesday and I forgot. I knew I'd not shown you. So I promised you this fold. Okay, and just whizzing around that, keeping the scissors still all the time, and then this can mount onto a matte layer, okay, like so, and then we can raise that up onto foam pads on the actual project. Just going to pop that there, pop some adhesive on the edge, just a tiny little drop into a corner. There we go. And then the next layer, I would just chop that out. So you've got a double layer for your matte layer, and again you can just bring that, leaving a little tiny layer around the outside to give kind of like a double layer effect. You have to stick it down completely. I wouldn't do this on foam pads first, or the foam pads between the layers. I'll put foam pads at the end. Okay, and come around there, just loosely around the edges. Oh, went a bit tight because I'm rushing. Okay. And out again. So I'm holding my scissors still on my right hand and coming down there. All the way around. Just leaving a bit of an even border. There we go, and that's off. So these now go to me Stampin' Dimensionals. And some of the bigger ones. There we go. And take a couple of these out. One there. I'm going to work out where that one's going to go onto my sentiment here. I think that can go up the top. And then these, wherever we want to put them, I'm going to double layer these. I'm going to, in the middle, I'm going to put a double layer of the pads in there. We did this last week, just in the centre. Take it, put it on and take the backing off, and then put it on and take the backing off. So we've got a double layer and then single layers either side of that, probably with the little ones. Okay, we just want some little ones around there. That's good, that came off automatically. Keeps the dimension, but it gives the middle as being taller. Okay, so if you start with one of those, and I'm going to go the opposite direction from what I did before, that's supporting the middle, and then we've got some little ones around the outside. We've got room to tuck all our leaves under when we want to. This is going to have the same, it's going to have double layer in the middle, peel one on, take the backing off, put it over exactly the same place, and then a few of the little ones around the outside. Yes, Linda, you can always go back and watch bits again. The measurements I will confirm in the description what I've done. I will go and edit the description there later when I'm back in the lounge. So that one's going there, this one's going to come up here. Okay, again, the top is higher than the rest, and then these are going to have little leaves coming out wherever we choose. So there's a lot of yellow on here, so I might tuck these. I'm going to put those under here, out to the side. This is a big piece. I'll just work out where we want to tuck it. Okay, probably in there, so it's still showing, but it's not distracting away from the rest of it. So I'm going to put Tombow on here, on the bottom of it, and the other pieces will still kick up. I like it tucked in there between the join. Okay, it's there. And then this one, I'm going to put a little tiny foam dot on there, just at the bottom of each of those, so that the green one can have some shape to it. Okay, pick that up. I'm being watched here now, behind the camera. She's waiting for me to go back in the lounge and give her some treats. Oops, whoops. There we go. And this one's going to tuck under here. Leaves upwards or leaves downwards, whichever you like. There we go. And then we have our gems we did the other day. Those of you who didn't see me, I still have the silicone mat here. So I'm just going to put some little spots of Tombow on here, so they start to dry and go a little bit tacky. Don't know how many I need. And we take our beautiful gems and our take your pick tool. So these are the, where are they, upside down, loose frosted dots. They go with this collection, and so we're going to put the glasses down, and we're going to pick these up with the little putty end of the rubber, the take your pick tool. I like to pick them up when they're flat on the actual base of the little pot. So I'm going to pick up a yellow one, place it onto a dot of Tombow, and then place it into the middle of the flower. Okay, and then I'm sliding this off. I can press on that to make sure it's in the right place. Turn these over so it's nice and flat. Pick up another one onto a Tombow dot and into the middle of the flower, like so. I can just slide off the Tombow, the putty, and then they are in the centre of the flowers. Now if you wanted some more, we can have a look. We could put some random ones in the middles of these flowers as well. We have smaller ones in here as well, so I might use the pink ones on the outer sizes. These are so tiny. They're not adhesive backed, so you do have to just play with them a little bit to get them to flat. So I've got a pink one there. I will tap that onto the Tombow, pick up a bit more Tombow, and then into the centre of the flower. Okay, on the outside. I like the middle ones for this. I'm going to flatten one over on the Tombow. Just slide it on the Tombow. I don't want to put my head in front of the camera, so I'm just lifting this up slightly and pop him down in the middle of the flower. There we go. And some more. There's one there. They are beautifully frosted, these. I do love them. I turn this round so I'm right-handed. Put one in the middle there. I think I might have one more. There are some smaller ones in here as well, some tiny ones. And use up some of this remaining Tombow. Oh, I'm going to have to put that one down there because I've got the glue on it now. There we go. And just to show you what they look like, I'm going to get a tiny one. There's just a dot of Tombow. The silicone mat, I said the other day, actually repels the glue, the sticky, so you can always clean this and this will come up as good as new every single time. There's a little tiny one on there. Okay, so I'll put the lid on and keep them safe. That can go away. That can go away, ready to be wiped. And there is our finished card. Okay, so we have the sides, we have the panels in the middle there. So you have your fancy fold with your edges, and when you want to fold it in, you put these ones into the center and down. Okay, and there is our card, our finished card. Okay, I will decorate the envelope and pop some of the paper, a little panel of paper or the check gingham one. Whatever I have left over from my card, I will put a backing layer behind that and make a pattern, make something nice out of it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that card today. Oh, thanks, Linda. Here, what else we've got here? Any more comments I've missed? I will go back and look at those another time. Okay, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed that card. I will put the links up and I will put the sizes into the description where I was to start with. Okay, so I'm going to take that off and bring you back to me. And there we go. There's my card. Thanks, Gillian. I really enjoyed making this one. The sizes, like I say, I love the bigger one, and I will make a lovely envelope for this, but it's a full size, but I was making it this way and it's kind of worked the same way. It's lovely, but it's just not fitting in the standard envelope, which is where I was aiming at. Okay, so I hope you agree with that. It's a really lovely card, and I will be doing something different on Wednesday this week. Box, well done, it worked. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Jane. Box. So this was the little box that I did in some of the similar papers. Well done, thank you, ladies. Let me get you back down onto the table. Oh, there, and bring you across, look. So here's my card, okay, and here is the box. I'll zoom you out a bit because you're a bit too close now. Oh, you ladies, you see, I ask you to do something and you don't let me down. So this is my little box. I did this one when I was away at Arundel last month, and it looks like a nice, sturdy, really strong double-walled box. Okay, and when I take the lid off, it's only got a half size here because when we open this out, it actually opens out, and I've got 2 drawers in here. I did these for team gifts at a convention, one of the Telford conventions, and all the walls are double-walled. And the boxes are double walled. It's a really sturdy box. Okay, so it might be that I do this onto a live or onto a video, but it'll be after the weekend. Next Sunday, you might have me coming from Germany, because I go out to Germany Sunday morning and get back Tuesday night. So I've just been invited over to see one of my American demos who's going to be in Amsterdam and Germany. And she said, do you want to keep me company? So the flight's booked and I will be going. So I'll have 2.5 days over there, which will be really nice. A couple of nights. We're planning a Rhine cruise. And we are, and I think a spa is thrown in there as well. So when I get back, I will look at doing this one. Maybe with some different papers. I might do a different design. But I've done these, I think this is on the instructions I did for, I think it was 2016. So that's possibly when I did the team gifts. There are all sorts of variations of these. You can get taller ones with 4 boxes in. More like a tea caddy chest, but this was particularly nice for the gift that I was giving that year at convention. So really loved it. Okay, so yes, the ladies who are coming to see me this week and next week, if you wanted to make one of those, I do have the instructions to hand, so we could do that as well if you like. Okay, so thank you for reminding me. They are the 2 items. There's the fancy fold in all the layers. Okay, and then this just shows you how all the papers go together nicely. Tuck that in, and there we go. Okay, so thanks again for joining me. I'll take that off, get you back, and say cheerio, and I will see you on Wednesday. As always, any requests, let me know. I think might even be a shaker card, I don't know, but I know we've been asked to do one of those as well. Okay,